Hey, good morning or good afternoon. Just clicking just past noon here on the East Coast. Today, I want to just briefly talk about the Google Lighthouse test. Now, when we developed Entice 360, our full premium website solution, I wanted to make sure that we had a way to prove that we were going in the right direction. So we looked at a handful of different tests to test the site to make sure that we were headed in the right direction, that we're solving for the real problems that dealerships are having today with the performance of their dealership website. One of the tests that we use is a Google Lighthouse test. Now, this isn't the end-all be-all test of testing your dealership website. There's lots of different things that you should be using. We also use the SEMrush or the SEMrush test constantly against our dealership websites, looking for errors, looking for warnings, looking at the overall health score of a dealership website. And we're going to talk about a SEMrush test in a later video. Today, I just want to do a kind of a fun test with you live on YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, on a way to use the Google Lighthouse test. So first of all, let's just go ahead and explain what a Google, actually, let's do this. I'll explain what a Google Lighthouse test is as we are running the test. So I'm gonna go ahead and just share my screen real quick. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up a new Chrome browser, which I just did right here. Now, these steps are very important if you're going to be running a Google Lighthouse test for your dealership website. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Chrome. I'm going to go to delete browsing data, and I'm going to delete data. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an incognito window. And then from there, I'm just going to go to my dealership website, do a right mouse click, go down to inspect, go to the Lighthouse tab, and then click Analyze Page. So what this is going to do, it's going to run a test. The Lighthouse test is an open source test that's built right inside of Google Chrome, as you can see, also built inside of Google Analytics. It's open source, meaning that people can contribute to all of the different things in the test. It is going to look for performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. So you can see our results right here. Now, what this tells me as a website provider that I want to optimize for these four core areas for Google Lighthouse. Now, the reason that we want to do that is these are the things that Google has deemed important. Performance is going to measure things like how long it takes for different elements on the page to load. It's going to look at the different images. It's going to look for the overall usability, when something is actually usable to a consumer or visitor when they visit the site. So a lot of things go into that. And if I come in here to Google Lighthouse in the test itself, I can click on the performance. It's going to bring me overall to the performance. It's going to show me where I scored in all of these different areas. You can see here, these are some of the metrics that they're going to look at. These are going to be the first contentful paint, the total blocking time, the speed index, the largest contentful paint, the cumulative layout shift, and you can go really deep in this. I mean, as you can imagine, if Google is going to have a test, they're going to give you the ability to go really deep. And then accessibility. Now, usually we score 100% on accessibility. So right now, there's something in there that's changed on this site or in the test that is going to allow me to go in there and find out what that is and to make sure everything is up to snuff. Now I can see here, links do not have a discernible name. So it seems like there's one element on the home page that we need to go in and make that adjustment. So this is the work that we've done as we've built Entice 360 as a platform to make sure that we're giving our dealers the very best performance possible. Now, like I said earlier, what I want to do in this video is I want to do a little test, because this comes up a lot when I'm talking to dealers. It is demonstrably better when you can run a Google Lighthouse test and you can see these green scores across the board. But how does this actually compare to other dealership websites around. There's a lot of great website providers. How do their websites score in these 4 key areas? So we're going to do a little bit of test today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Google Lighthouse test, but I'm going to do it from a dealership website that I've never been to before. And how I'm going to do this, I'm just going to go to ChatGPT. I'm going to ask it to give me a random state and a random OEM, and we're just going to do a quick Google search. And whatever dealership website pops up, we're going to do a test on that. And we'll do a couple. And since this is live, you'll know that I don't know what dealers I'm going to get. So let me come down here. This will be fun. So I'm going to go down here to my share. I'm going to close this incognito window. I'm just going to jot this down. So I'm 97, 96, 100, and 100. Again, let me just clarify. 97 on performance, 96 on accessibility. Now, accessibility means that the site has specifically done things and set the site up to be accessible. And I'm going to digress here just a minute. I'm going to come back and we'll do this in a minute since this is live. And I just want to kind of chat through, kind of go off my little script that I had planned. Accessibility. As we developed Entice 360, and I looked at all of the different things that are added to dealership websites, one of the things that has popped up quite a bit is these accessibility widgets. These became very popular, I want to say maybe 10 years ago. And there's a lot of companies now that will sell these little accessibility widgets. And the accessibility widgets that they are providing is part of an overall service. You as a website provider, as a website owner, can go out and sign up for these accessibility tools. One part of it is adding this accessibility widget. Another part, most of the time, is a paid service where somebody else will go through your website and check every single page to make sure that it's accessible. Make sure that all of the content on there is entered in a way that has the things necessary to be accessible. Making sure that the text has the proper contrast, that it's readable, that there's certain font sizes for the text that's on the different pages, that every button, every link has ARIA labels or alt text labels, that different buttons are accessible in different ways. So there's lots of things that go into a site being accessible. The common misperception, and I see this all the time, that is, as a dealer, if I just throw on an accessibility widget, I'm accessible. The reality is that is not the case. But if you believe that, you're with thousands, if not millions of people that believe that to be true. That is not true. Do the research and you'll find out that, number one, it doesn't make your site accessible, adding these accessibility tools. Most of the time, adding these accessibility tools actually make the site less accessible to people that need it because they have their own accessibility tools that they use when they browse the internet. And then also, not having your site accessible does open yourself up for potential legal issues. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not saying that if you don't have a high accessibility score that you're in legal peril, but that is something that you might want to find out, because there are people that are looking for different ways to be able to sue dealers. Accessibility, having those things in a guideline, can open up opportunity. And that's why we think as dealers that if we just throw an accessibility widget, we're okay. We're not. Anyways, let me get back to what we're talking about here. So I'm going to go to, let me share my screen again. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close this window. Oh, you know what? I didn't explain best practices, but these are pretty easy. Best practices, making sure that you are taking advantage of the things that Google says you should be taking advantage of when building your website. We're 100%, so we're paying attention to what Google is saying that we should use. SEO, this is really the lowest, this is the lowest bar of all of these, that every website should be 100%. If you're not 100%, your website provider or whoever is providing your SEO, they're not doing their job. We're 100% and we strive to be 100%. Anyways, with that said, so now we got performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. You can see here that we're 97, 96, 100, and 100. I'm going to go ahead and close this window right here. I'm going to do exactly what I did before. Actually, before I do that, let's just open up a new tab. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I'm just going to say, hey, give me a random state in the USA. Okay, Arizona. Now, I'm going to ask it, give me a random OEM for cars in the USA. Toyota. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to clear browsing data like I did before. Clear. I'm going to open up an incognito window. In this case, I'm just going to go Arizona. If I type today, and Toyota. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab the first one. So I'm a Toyota dealership in Chandler. Same thing. It's going to open up the site. I'm going to hit right mouse click. I'm going to go to, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to make sure I go to the home page. Delete browsing data. Open up incognito window. I won't click on a paid ad. Arizona. Toyota. That's not a paid ad. Go right there. Bring me to the home page and do a right mouse click. Let's see how these guys do. Go to Lighthouse. I'm going to run this test. Performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. Now, I've never done this to this particular dealership before. Only takes a couple minutes to run this. I've actually been to this dealership before. They had a great store. I visited the store when I was opening up Wesley Chapel Toyota. I wanted to see some of their processes. They have a one person, one price process. And so here's the perfect example. So like I said, the lowest barrier of the part of this test that's the easiest to score high on is SEO. And you can see here, that's exactly what is playing out in real time with this live test. This is actually giving me a 92 for SEO, but they're giving a 77 for performance, an 83 for accessibility, 44 for best practices. So if you got a 77 on a test when you were in school, that was probably a C. 83, maybe a C plus or a B minus, but 44 definitely is a failing grade. 92, probably an A, but definitely not an A plus, being a 100. So I could do this over and over and over, and I've done it dozens, if not hundreds of times right now by this time. Again, what I did when I decided to pivot my business away from being a widget provider to providing full website solutions, a platform, I went back and spent probably a year just doing research on how I wanted to build the sites, what technologies I wanted to use to build the sites from, how I wanted to create the inventory integration, and then I wanted to develop a way for us to be able to demonstrably show that our website outperforms other sites. And we've built the sites to perform in all of these different key areas. So in this case, we're looking at the Google Lighthouse test. And our goal is to consistently score either 100 or very close to 100 in every area. We also use the SEMrush test, which we're going to cover in a different video, but we're in the high 90s on the overall health score. That's another test. If you want to be proactive, do the steps that I did, where you are open up a Chrome browser, you're deleting your cookies, you're open up an incognito window, you go to the site, you hit right mouse click, you click on inspect, go to the Lighthouse tab, and then run the test. And then you'll see what scores you're getting. If you're curious, go to SEMrush. You can run a free test there. See how many errors are on your dealership website right now. We strive to be at 0 errors. We're testing every single day, and we strive to be in the high 90s for a test. So if you're not in the high 90s, or you got a bunch of errors on your site, you go to your Google Lighthouse, and you're not happy with your results, and you want to be happy with your results, maybe give me a call. Maybe shoot me an email at david@entice.com. I'd love to chat with you and set up a full presentation so we can show all of this information and maybe show a little bit more. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share this information with you over Entice 360 Live. And right now, we're currently broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Hope you have a great day.